Welcome, everyone. My name is Marquesa Pettway. I'm a business reinvention expert and proud professional speaker and CSP. I'm also the columnist for Speaker Magazine. My column is called the Speaker Toolkit. And right now, I am working on a major feature where I am highlighting celebrities. And these would be individuals that either started off as a celebrity and decided they wanted to add professional speaking to their business model, or maybe they started off as a professional speaker and then later became a celebrity. So today, I have the pleasure of interviewing the person that's known as the Dean of NFL Referees, Dr. Jim Tunney, and he'll let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. He's a humorous motivational speaker who offers a unique perspective sure to fascinate, amuse, and inspire your business audience with laugh-out-loud humor blended with bona fide wisdom. Dr. Tunny earned his doctorate in education from the University of Southern California and served in the California public school system as a high school principal and district superintendent. Now, today as a professional speaker, he makes presentations on leadership, achievement, and motivation throughout the country to business and corporations, government agencies, trade associations, and the like. He has an incredible story, and he's going to share with us this journey. But what I find so interesting, because I'm from Dallas, so of course I know the Dallas Cowboys, is to really talk to someone who's a referee. Like, oh my goodness. So welcome, Jim.
Well, thanks, Marquesa. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'll try to talk a little slower.
Well, I can't wait to show my daddy this interview. He's seen a million of them, but this one I think will be his favorite.
I spent a lot of times in Dallas, both at the Cotton Bowl, where it first started when the Dallas Cowboys were first beginning, and then at the Texas Stadium, and now, of course, at AT&T, that beautiful facilities at Jerry Jones built.
Wow, this is great. So so you were a referee for a long time. Can you tell us a little bit about that life for some of us non-sports fans?
I started in 1960, the year that Dallas came in the NFL. I was a college official in the Pacific Coast Conference, they called it at that time, now called the Pac-12. And they invited me. I never even applied. They invited me because Dallas was coming in that year, and Minnesota, the Vikings, were coming in 61. And so I started that. I was a high school vice principal. We had to call them vice principals in those days, not assistant principals. I was in charge of the vice at the school, I think, more than anything else. But starting in being in the school business and the NFL, people would say, come and tell us about what do they talk about in the locker room? What do they talk about in the huddle? What are those guys? And I thought about that. That's kind of interesting. But for me, the game is people. And I talked about the people that I got to meet, the George Halas, who almost invented the NFL game, Vince Lombardi, Tom Landry, Roger Staubach, people like that, talking about the game as people and what kind of people they are that I can learn from. And I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about team building. Actually, it was an experimental lab. I was on the field watching those players and watching the things that Tom Landry was doing, the things that Vince Lombardi or Don Shula or great coaches were doing. So leadership for me was a classroom experience, not just from a textbook.
Wow. You mentioned Tom Landry. I remember all of that when I was a little girl. So you knew all of these people. Very interesting.
And that's, I guess, how the celebrity part came about. When you're on television every week working a game, and I worked over 500 NFL games in 31 years, so people get to see you Sunday afternoon for 3 hours on the game, and so you become that kind of instant celebrity. Never didn't go into the NFL for that reason, but when television became so popular in the early 60s, and now as it is in replay and all that, I get a great opportunity to meet a lot of wonderful people over the years.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, to me, it seems like an easy bridge for you to go from that NFL referee into professional speaking, because as a referee, you had a big responsibility to keep things in order on the field. When emotions, get out of order, you're the one that you call all the shots. You're like the boss on the field. I mean, literally, tell us about that. I see a natural bridge there. Tell us kind of what was it like being in that role and having that enormous responsibility?
At the same time that I was doing all that, Marquesa, I was a high school principal. So I
Mm-hmm.
was in charge of over 2,000 kids and 125 teachers as their principal, as their leader. So I had a leadership role on campus Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I'd fly to a game and work the game on Sunday, and then Monday morning I'm back on campus. So it was a 7-day-a-week job for me from September through December, and so it was a great opportunity for me to be in that role. I love the leadership role, and being on the football field, my job was as a referee, not a headlinesman or a line judge. We had 7 officials. I started only with 7 officials who are very important, but the referee in the white hat is in charge of the game, and he really is the game manager. And so that opportunity to manage the game on the football field on Sunday and then go back on Monday morning and be the high school principal and manage those kids and those teachers in that environment was a 7-day-a-week leadership job for me.
Wow. If anybody can talk about leadership, it's you. I think of that movie, Lean on Me. I don't know if you've ever saw it, where, oh my gosh, I don't know if it was Morgan Freeman. I can't remember the actor, but he was a principal of a tough school. And I'm not sure what kind of schools you were a principal of, but my goodness, you worked 7 days a week going from running a school to a football field. So then here's the question, and I'm sure everyone watching this would love to know this. What made you decide to talk about this, to let this become a topic that you would translate into your message as a professional speaker?
Well, it started out just with Kiwanis clubs and Rotary clubs and people like that. And then, of course, because I was in education and I was a high school principal and I had a doctor's degree, I got to speak to a lot of educational groups about dealing with kids and how you handle certain situations with parents and things like that. Similar things I was doing on Sunday afternoon, similar to dealing with the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins in a battle on Sunday afternoon, and how you handle people like that. And then it went from education into Fortune 500 companies. I've spoken for, gosh, I can't name them all, from A to Z, you name it. You name it, a Fortune 500 company or a corporation in the country, and I've probably spoken for them, because the background is, as you mentioned earlier, leadership in action. It was something I was doing all the time. And it's the same idea in sports. Sports has a wonderful metaphor for life. We talk about getting together and meeting in conferences, and we call it in football, we call it a huddle. Everybody huddles up and you find out what the play is, and then you execute. And that's what I like about the game of football. There's 11 different players doing 11 different jobs for one purpose, and that's to move the ball down the field. And then people said goals. Well, we have a thing in football called goals. We have a goal line, and everybody has a goal line to accomplish. And in life and in sports, it's all the same. It's a lot of interesting things that come out of the world of sports that you can use in regular life. I write a weekly column for a newspaper that goes out to about 6,000 subscribers, called On the Tunney Side of Sports, where I take current issues from the world of sports and transform them into positive messages for everyday living. Because there are a lot of things that happen in sports that are not so positive, but you can turn them into positive things.
Wow. Now, I love that. And just thank you for doing it, because you could have just decided, all right, I'm going to just go spend all my money or go on the road and, just brag. But you decided to change lives in there. A lot of professional speakers will watch this interview as well as read it in Speaker Magazine. And a lot of professional speakers, they want to impact more people, Jim. You know this. They want to reach more people, especially within NSA. That's what we're here for. This is why we pay the dues we do, and we're engaged, and at least for a good number of us. And then we become CSPs and all that wonderful stuff, because we want to change the world. But we're well aware that we can only change the world as far as our footprint will go. which is why I think a lot of us want to get into that celebrity bandwidth, or getting into that celebrity space, not for the fame and the fortune, but for the impact. What advice would you give to the professional speakers that are changing the world, but they just want a bigger footprint to do it?
One of the things that helped me was that I was doing speaking for a long time before I joined NSA. I've been in NSA now as a speaker for 40 years. But before I did that, I was speaking on my own and doing different things. And I learned about NSA, and I joined in 1975. And that really helped me to watch the people and learn from the people that I met. It really improved my professionalism and presentation styles. And I still learn from that. I watch speakers all the time and see how I can adapt my personality and my expertise into something that makes me better. I'm trying to learn every day, become better at what I do. And NSA is the one that does that. If you can take your expertise and take it to the level of, for example, Ken Blanchard. Ken Blanchard never was on the football field, but he's a very well-known celebrity and a member of NSA for a number of years. But he is recognized as a guru in leadership, and that's because of the work that he's done with a lot of people. There are a lot of celebrities in NSA who never done anything nationwide on television like I had, but have developed their expertise and got better at what they do, perfecting what they do, and that's what it's all about, being the best you can be every time. And every time I've been on a platform, several thousand, 3 or 4 or 5,000, I don't count them, but I try to do a little bit better than I did the last time. And remember, every audience is interested in something that you have to say if you develop it in a style that makes it meaningful for them. You're not speaking for yourself, you're speaking for that person in the audience. And you look right at them, and you want people to walk out of the room saying, he was talking to me, or she was talking to me, and that's important.
Wow, this is beautiful. I'm so glad that I had the privilege to interview you, and I'm even happier that all of the speakers at all different levels, Jim, will get a chance to read about you in Speaker Magazine, as well as listen to your interview and get inspired to stay on that journey. We'll close this interview, any lesson, and this could be completely unrelated to what we've talked about already, but any lesson that you want to just share for speakers out there, professional speakers that want to change the world, any final advice?
Well, I think probably Cavett Roberts said it best, and he said, school is never out for the pros. You're always learning, you're always doing something, always getting better at what you do. You never sit back and say, oh, well, I did that before, I can do that again. There's always new audiences, there's always new material that you can develop, things that you've done before, but you can improve on it and make it meaningful for today's audience. And it's important that you think about, what do they want to hear from me? What can I help them that'll make their lives better? When they walk out of this room, are they going to be better because I had an opportunity to help them grow?
Wonderful. Jim, if those listening want to reach out to you or check you out online or what have you, what would be the website, or where should they go to find you?
The website is a simple one. It's, of course, www.jimtunney, Tunney, jimtunney.com, or my email, jim@jimtunney.com. Try to make it as simple as I can. And that weekly column that I write that goes out to people is called On the Tunny Side of Sports.com. And those avenues are accessible to anybody, and anybody who wants to listen to some of the messages I have, I'm delighted to share them with them.
Wonderful. And want to make sure I got that. On the sunny side of sports, is that what you said?
That's exactly, on the sunnysideofsports.com, yes.
.com. Okay, well, I can't wait. I know I'm definitely going to check it out. Thank you, Jim, for your time. Hold on one second. I'm going to close out the interview. Thank you, guys, and make sure you read about Jim's advice in our feature of Speaker Magazine, all about the path of becoming a professional, not only being a professional speaker, but becoming a celebrity speaker and having more of an impact.